So guys, hi. It is 2:50 p.m. and it is 17th of August 2025. I've just completed my workout. Why so late? Well, because I woke up at like 2, I think at 2 p.m. No, in fact 1:50 p.m. Yeah, I needed to sleep. Sleep is very important for me. And yeah, so what am I gonna do next? What do I expect? I expect a lot of suffering, a lot of sacrifices today, and they are psychological sacrifices. Like when I'm not investing all of my energy into school to get even better grades, people like my stepfather can, and they do it. They basically move a lot around my door, and they kind of, I hear their breathing near the door, and I feel like they're somehow collecting informations to later create a better strategy to mock me or to manipulate me to not do this. These are greedy people, to be honest. It's bad to be greedy. So, just these days, I realized how important reading different sorts of books is. Because you never know what problem you can have in the future. You've always got to be ready. And trust me, these problems appear mostly if you choose to have a non-ordinary life, an extraordinary life, right? Like having the goal to make $10,000 in personal profit per month before turning 18 years old. That's not an ordinary goal. That's not normal. Most people don't want it. Who knows, maybe I don't want it. We will see what my actions will say. And there is this bias in people. I realized it both on my own, and I've also realized it even more when I saw influencers like Bash Beefs or Bash Closes on Instagram telling it, which is most people will mock your dream or goal, like if it's to get a Lambo before 18 years old. But why? Not because you are wrong, but because they have a limiting belief. And when they hear that a young person has this belief, there's something like this. Like, whoa, that's not real. You think you're better than us, or something like that. And honestly, when you are dependent on this type of person, because you don't make your own money yet, right? You have different beliefs than them. It is tough, psychologically, to be honest, because they can tell you things like, and I was in such a situation, they told me things like, then get out of the house, of my house. I pay the electricity, do you? And it's tough. It's tough when you realize that humans just care about them, but that is also alright at the same time. But to be honest, I feel like when I work on ambitious goals, my parents, actually all of them I think, but mostly the stepfather, they start acting like they are feeding me, giving me money just because they want to control me. That's tough. That's very tough. So, but yeah, I recently learned this on YouTube Shorts. There's a guy, The Diary of a CEO, and he posts very interesting pieces of content, videos, and he interviewed an interesting guy, like a 40-year-old, and that 40-year-old said, make sure that in every conversation you are calmer than the person you are speaking with, because you never know when you can be speaking with a psychopath or sociopath, right? And trust me, if you will be calmer than them, they will regret meeting you. And I must have known that before I responded to my stepfather, because all of this tension, I mean, all of the words that he said about me moving out of the house, of his house, were right after this scenario happened. I'll describe it to him, because I shouldn't have had a certain reaction in this scenario. I think he's a sociopath or psychopath. I think probably sociopath. Look, so it was like the end of 9th grade. It was already summer. I got my grades that marked the end of the gymnasium, right? 9th grade in Moldova. And yeah, I had like 8 from 10 at mathematics, 40 from 50 points, and then 6 from 10 in both history and Romanian, right? It's like 22 from 50 points. And bro, he was like, for 3 days in a row, when he was seeing me saying things like, and 6 at Romanian, after I basically had after I was like speaking with my mom, something basic like give me the salt, and I have 6 at Romanian. It's preposterous mocking, right? Bro, when I decided after 3 days to tell him, you are so arrogant, I can't stand you, you know? Oh my gosh, and there was such a scandal after that. And let me tell you my intentions with that. I know that I don't want him to lower my status, right, in the robotics community and so on. And I thought that he was able to do that, because he can spread some rumors about me to his friends and so on, you know, to relatives. And I thought that these rumors can even get into the tech community, that would impact my reputation. Even Robert Greene said things like, make sure you protect your reputation at all costs. Just later, after that conflict, I realized that I was wrong. But let me tell you what I was wrong. In believing that his words, rumors have value. Why? Because healthy people, they don't believe everything they hear. And I want to collaborate with such people, right? And here's what they would do. First of all, they would want to interact with me anyways, and see, and ask themselves, how does this person behave? Is everything I heard about him or her true? That's it. I realized this just later. And I also realized just later that if you don't want conflicts with psychopaths, because trust me, you don't want that, especially with people that you currently depend on financially, or sociopaths, not just psychopaths. You better have certain rules, like don't raise your voice, because they're gonna become even more sociopathic. That's it. All I wanted to tell you guys. So yeah, I also realized these days that it is actually worth it to keep my workout routine in the morning. It's also worth it, but slowly, most importantly, to kill habits like vaping, you know, sugar, and my goal is to quit them all at once. Scheduling social media, scrolling reels type of time, you know, because there's gonna be significant compound effects when all of them are working as a system for you. But you have this tendency to negotiate with yourself. Listen, something like this. I'll tell you my monologue. I'm talking to one person here, I guess, but so I'll tell you my monologue. Man, what are your Iman, or I don't know who you are yet. I don't know what's your name. Here's what my monologue sounds. You haven't fapped for 5 days in a row. Or, you haven't eaten added sugar, I mean things like biscuits and so on, for 5 days in a row. I don't see results. Objectively speaking, this is a wrong thought in terms of your intention that you want to quit it. Now, it's not worth it to quit even if you don't see results. After you have implemented all of these recommendations like no sugar, no porn, no fap, no unscheduled social media time, and not having a schedule or a routine at the same time, bro, you've got to have all of them at place. You've got to kill habit by habit, but you've got to replace them. Actually, there is one habit I truly don't want to fully replace. Just how I interact with it, I want to change that, which is social media time. Listen, I think it is important to see, to research, like to see what's happening, in communities you admire, like tech ones from San Francisco, Silicon Valley, But I definitely want to reduce this time to 30 minutes a day to 40 minutes a day, because I also think it is worth it to read some magazines, There's also dance information, which social media usually takes some bits of and posts it, and is posting it, posts it, and posts it, and basically posts it, and basically posts it, and basically posts, and basically posts it, and basically posts it, and basically posts it. Yeah, I think that's the right pronunciation. If it's not, then write in the comments, guys. So yeah, this is pretty much everything I wanted to tell you guys. But yeah, I also plan to be reading most of the time today, because it's Sunday, and a lot of time ago I wanted to use Sundays not for work, but honestly for relieving stress, or basically reposing. It is a French word actually, which means to basically be in that state that you are at the beach, like in Turkey or something. So yeah, I want to read today. I want to go for walks. Of course, I wouldn't spend time with family, but it doesn't mean I don't help them 1 hour per week with, or 2 hours per week with, like using the vacuum to clean all the house, right? That's it, because I actually know what sacrifices I'm gonna have in order to achieve this goal that I have until I turn 18 years old, right? Which is, you know what it is, guys. But let me tell you the sacrifices I think are gonna be made by me. Being extremely productive and energetic, even when you hear someone breathing in your door. It's very rare. It was just one time though. It was late at night by my stepfather. All right. Yeah, it's kind of a sacrifice that would make you stronger psychologically. to persevere even though you are under pressure. Someone analyzes your actions, and in any other moment he can invent new tactics to attack you, to manipulate you, right? To drag you down to his level and so on. Because they believe everyone should be like this, because they are average and they follow statistics. I'm the average too. I am not. From my childhood. I'll create another video about my childhood, guys. Yeah, other sacrifices are not investing, or now it is investing most of your energy into what you care about, right? Robotics, physics, mathematics, and yeah, that's it. Despite the fact that some people you're dependent on financially can mock you, threat you, you know. And that's it. Yeah. And also my comfort. And also sacrificing my belief that God doesn't really exist. I also have sacrificed some of my time to read the Bible, you know, because I know there are a lot of successful people that believe God has their back. And I think it gives them a lot of confidence, and I think that is something I would also want to try, to read more about God and so on. In fact, the Bible, because it never knows. People don't know about God, how he looks like, in fact. Yeah, so goodbye, guys. But there is one more thing I wanted to tell you, that I gathered much more books, and actually it's what I'm doing right now, right? Yeah. Actually, I said it, I think. 490 lays is my current budget, both on the bank account and in liquid form. Because I had to tell you about this in the morning, but I didn't, so it's a great reminder. So actually now it's 3:55 p.m. I've just eaten. Yeah, I'm going for a walk. Alright, guys, I hope you're hearing me well, because I'm currently wearing these headphones, so I've got to be more quiet because pretty much everyone is sleeping. So it is already 18th of August 2025, but I want to believe it is 17th of August 2025. It is 12:09 a.m. Right? Yeah, so what have I been doing today? Well, obviously the day has been pretty chaotic, because I still don't have the right systems, but I'm currently building the systems. But yeah, that's it. I can tell you what new action I have made today. It is something that truly boosted my confidence for me, like in the not that far future, to apply everything I know simultaneously and actually build that perfect life. Not perfect, but perfect enough for me to be as focused as I can on my main goals, right? Robotics, first tech challenge, tech business until I'm 18 years old with a lot of pressure, because there won't be that much pressure after I'm 18 years old, I guess. And I'm talking about this kind of pressure that comes from people that don't believe in your value, because you'll have already proved your value until you're 18 years old. Yeah, so let me tell you what is my main achievement for today. You see, I wanted to eat some junk food at about 11:40 a.m. No, p.m. But I remembered this principle, which is when you feel the temptation to procrastinate or basically impediment yourself or kill yourself from accomplishing what you want, just start doing an activity that would replace that action. Yeah, so I was like this. I was basically near the door. I already like opened the door and I wanted to eat some junk food, which is some chocolate, late at night. And I knew I have already eaten enough and it would be for me excessive to eat another. And so let me tell you guys what I did. I grabbed this book. I opened it at a random page, and I started reading. It was like 4 pages I read. Yeah, it was very interesting. It was something like Larry Page, Elon Musk, and some other main guy just brainstorming a lot of preposterous ideas with the goal that they would find a truly useful idea, you know? Which is interesting. I have this mindset already for the last 1 year. I can tell you that I made an intellectual achievement today, which is killing some of my guilt. In fact, overcoming some emotional obstacle, some intellectual obstacle. Let me tell you what obstacles were. That you are not good enough just because you can handle to be a champion in everything. Bro, it's wrong. A champion invests most of its energy in one field. You don't, and that's okay. That's why you're gonna have to make the sacrifice, right? And it's gonna be soon, once the school starts. And I also thought that I don't have chances to surpass people that I have studied, like Eric Zhu, Zaki Aligari. And I thought of that just because I have studied them and was inspired a lot by them and by all of this hustle culture. I'd probably not succeed, but it seems like I will, in spite of that. My past achievements have already shown my potential, so that's it. You can even hear the stepdad making some sounds with his nose. He usually sleeps at this time, but I told you in the last part of this video the reason for this. And I'm just becoming psychologically stronger, That's it. I love it, you guys. Now I was basically retaking that Kindle book to read it and reflect on it, So goodbye, guys. Guys, this part of the video is actually very special. I didn't tell you this, but I have an idea in artificial intelligence, which is an AI dating app. It would basically use artificial intelligence to connect people in a better way, right? Like, for example, what is the outcome, first of all? The outcome is that you don't have to go to so many dates because the AI has already connected you with someone that seems to have similar profile or compatible profile to yours. So it automatically shows you just the right options. Not just by country, but by personality. And by personality, it's something harder than just AI can do that, advanced AI. And this is something that I think apps like Tinder could not have made until this great innovation in AI that recently happened, probably in 2022, you know. That's it. And oh my gosh, and I'm telling you guys, I want to start that as soon as I finish this project. Honestly, I'm doing this project more to like demonstrate my value as an entrepreneur and that I'm able to execute an idea. So yeah, that's what sets me apart from other people. Guys, it's already 2 a.m. I've just realized night is also not free of distractions. Yeah, I entered on Instagram to see if a boy responded to my message. And bro, I saw like my cousin posting a story on Instagram for close friends, only close friends. And I kind of started to talk to her on DMs, you know. Let's see how much time will it take me to not do this anymore, to not enter on Instagram, to set focus sessions.